This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Amir wants to know, were you ever approached by TNA or Impact to work there as either a commentator or talent relations? Jim, I know the answer, but I don't think you've spent a ton of time talking about it. Why didn't it happen?
Because I couldn't get the money I wanted and the control I needed. I used to build a part sales line to Mr. Carter. You want me to cook the dinner? You got to let me buy some groceries. And I needed to know your contract structure. They were very reluctant to show me any of the contracts because the bottom line is I can do math.
Yeah.
If you tell me this is your nut, you got to do this to get into the profit side. Then I need to know what the nut is. What's the overhead? It may be impossible to achieve. So, how much were you paying Hogan? I wasn't trying to cut pay, but you got to know what you're getting into. If you start being a general manager of a ball club, you want to know what your salary cap is and how do you stand? There's a set of rules to go by. There's a little pattern here, and I never got access to that information, which is fine because I shouldn't have been there. I went down. Dixie flew me down from Norman to their ranch in Texas, North Texas. It's about a 20-minute flight.
Huh.
And I stayed, it was Easter weekend. And I came very close to staying the night because of lightning. But a little front moved through, and so they scooted me out of there early evening. Because when I got back to Oklahoma, it was dark. But I had a great talk with Bob Carter. I liked his wife, Janice. Dixie was a sweet woman, had great passion for the wrestling business and trying to make her mark in basically a men's business.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get, it wasn't about money as much as it was about job description. And then it's like, well, we got a little booking committee. I already been through that shit. Too many cooks in the kitchen, baby. And she said, well, I think it was her or her dad or somebody. And they didn't mean anything by it. It's like, just come to work for us, come to those meetings, and I'm sure you're going to fit in. That's like walking into a pool of sharks with a bloody leg. They're going to eat your ass alive.
Well, help me understand though. I mean, I get the hesitation to do that, but ultimately you did make a decision to leave Vince and go work for another organization. What did AEW do differently than Impact that ultimately gave you the warm and fuzzies, shall we say?
Well, the compensation was beautiful.
Okay. So more money. Got it.
The challenge of working in a startup for the first time in my career.
Okay.
Clean slate. The fact that he wanted me to be the lead voice of the broadcast, which I liked. Everybody, it's like dancing, man. I need to lead the dance, which sounds very egocentric, and that'll be a nice little clickbait for some of you fuckers that, well, you can bleep that out. But I'm serious. It's like, it can all these things I say here can be used in unique ways to make things sound different than they're meant to sound, if that makes any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
But and I like Tony Khan, his enthusiasm, and all that. The thing about it, Dixie had assembled a lot of really talented wrestling politicians. Okay. And I didn't feel like butting heads with them. I want to call the plays. I want to run the ship. And she didn't have the conviction or the confidence in me to allow that to happen. So I didn't want to get into another deal where we're chasing our tail all the time. It didn't make any sense to me.
Obviously, you and Jeff have done a bunch of business since, talking about Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Did you still have a burr under your saddle about the way things had been handled before, and knowing that Jeff was in some sort of power position there?
Nope, not a bit.
So the politicians were more Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, or Vince Russo, or who are we talking about?
All of them.
Okay.
Because they're all looking for the same gig.
Yeah.
Control.
Yeah.
Creative control. This control. And I didn't want to fight that system. I was at that stage of my life and what I'd accomplished in my body of work. Why would I want to get into that shithole? It wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah.
So then later on, and like I said, when Tony Khan came along and they approached my agent, Barry Bloom, we had no problem coming to a deal. I'm very happy. It's the best decision professionally. It's the best decision I've made, and it's right there with getting in WWE and getting in a scenario where I became an EVP, a real EVP. I did work for my EVP title. I earned that title, and I did work commensurate for that position. And it wasn't a I don't say bogus, but it wasn't just for sizzle and show, or a way to justify paying people more money to give them a title. That's me. But bottom line is that it just wasn't. I love being around Bob Carter. He was a big football guy. I'm a big football guy, Conrad, as you know.
Oh yeah.
He didn't want to go against Dixie. And I respected that, by the way. Still do. And I communicate with, I got a text from her just a day or two ago. We're talking about, and guess what we're talking about?
Football.
SEC.
Yeah.
I can't wait to take you to a game in the Grove. Well, if what I hear about the Grove, I can't wait to go. So,
in case you're wondering at home, the Grove is where the legendary tailgating experience happens for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And as the story goes, they're known for some of the best barbecues, some of the nicest and most hospitable grillers and hosts in regards to alcohol, and have a reputation for having the most beautiful young ladies in the entire country.
That's right.
Yeah.
And just because I'm old and on a diet doesn't mean I can't look at the menu.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com.
So I'll be at the Grove. We play there, and I'll have a very nice escort that knows her way around the Grove. So Dixie and I are still buddies. It just was the wrong time. And I just didn't feel like, I didn't want to go, dealing with the talent is challenging enough without dealing with the coaching staff. That's just not a good scenario. And I told her that. It's just not right for me right now. If I'm going to come in there and do that, I'm going to come in wholeheartedly, full bore, and I need to call the plays. Simple as that, and it never happened. But I did enjoy my Easter weekend there with them, and I had nothing but good things to say about the Carter family. I was never anti-Impact, TNA, whatever. But it just was the wrong place, the wrong time.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.